Hello, I am Jamie Buckland with the West Virginia FUE, West Virginia Families United for Education, and I'm talking right now with Rick from Foundation in Sounds about their program and how they are going to help West Virginia families in educating their children or possibly working with teachers in classrooms as far as their curriculum goes. So, Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you serve? Who is your audience?
I guess it's two primary groups of people. First would be struggling readers, dyslexic children, and other children who are just having troubles with acquiring the skill of reading. And secondly, works very well as a pre-reading program.
Okay, great. And so if I am a mom that is looking for curriculum for, say, a kindergartner, and I've not gone past alphabet identification yet. We're just now getting started. What would Foundation in Sounds offer me as far as getting my child ready to begin reading? What does it offer the child?
Foundation in Sounds, reading acquisition comes in stages. And generally where we begin, where most of us think of beginning the whole process of learning to read, is with learning our letters and the associated sounds. So that's sound-symbol relationship. But there's actually two preceding stages to that. Immediately prior to sound-symbol relationship, we have phonemic awareness. And phonemic awareness is something that is dynamic, it's moving, but it's dealing only with sound, not with symbols. But again, there's a stage that precedes even that, and that's where we come in. And we are, in a sense, static, in that we help a child develop their discrimination of sound. We help them develop memory for sound, and we also help them develop their ability to sequence sound. For a person who is not dyslexic or not a struggling reader, they may not appreciate that even needs to be taught. For somebody who is struggling, or for an early reader, 4 years old, 5 years old, it's something that is absolutely fundamental in reading development.
Yeah, so this is tough for me because we talked before and I got super excited hearing more about your program. So now I'm thinking of all the things that I felt like were so unique about what you offer and trying to figure out what questions I want to ask to make sure our viewers get to hear that same story behind what you're doing. And so one thing that I like about your program is that we have families who often want to say, what can we be doing? They may have like preschool age, or like I always start my children the year they're turning 6. So we wait. We don't do the 5-year-old year. We wait until that year that they're turning 6 for kindergarten. But you have families who will say, well, what can we start doing now? And typically I say play. Read to your child, get outside, play. But I love that this gives these parents who are invested and ready to do something, this gives them something that really could benefit their child and help prepare them for the reading process. Do you find that parents are also able to start identifying possible concerns with dyslexia, or does that come later in the process once they actually would complete your program and move on to reading?
Concerns for dyslexia you can start seeing them, early in a child's life. Though certainly when you're 2, 3, 4 years old, they're not as a parent. But we do have a screening that we offer, and that a parent can take, that a parent can present to their child to see whether there's some potential that their child will struggle with reading acquisition or language acquisition.
Wonderful. Okay, so if someone were to purchase your curriculum, are we looking at like a video series, workbooks, teacher manual? What are we actually purchasing when we buy into Foundation in Sounds?
It does come with video training, so a very, very important part of the program. So you're not reading an instruction booklet on how to. You get to go through video training, streaming or via DVD that shows exactly how to use the program. Beyond that, it's physical. And we have physical manipulators. We have physical teacher's manual. The teacher's manual is 100% scripted. So you don't have to come up with anything. You don't have to imagine anything. You can read right from the book and know exactly what you should say to your student and know the types of responses that you should be expecting from your student. It's very colorful and it's very hands-on so that it's engaging for the student. And we find that kids enjoy using it.
So tell us, who developed your curriculum? What's the story behind Foundation in Sounds?
Well, we'll try to give you the nickel version of that, but
Okay.
it's a long story. We'll try to make it brief. Our interest in dyslexia began about 20 years ago, actually a bit more than 20 years ago, when our second son came along. My wife is a teacher by trade. She had taught our oldest son to read, and it just seemed like something that happened at the drop of a hat. Very simple, very quick, and you thought you'd almost done something special. And then our second son came along, and something was not happening for this little boy. And later on, he would tell us that he always, little 5-year-old guy, he just figured that Lisa must be doing something wrong because he was not getting it, which was just humorous. But that was our introduction to dyslexia. Here, one son who picks up reading so easily, so quickly, a second son equally as bright, but for whom things were just not fitting together. So that's how we got started. And as we moved forward, Lisa was teaching online in a virtual classroom, and she noticed that in every single class that she had, there was always 3 or 4 struggling readers. And so that's when, between our own son and the experience that she was having in the classroom, she said, this is just not acceptable. And moving forward, she did a lot of research on different curriculums. We began using the Barton reading and spelling system with a number of her students, and she started noticing fantastic success with them. But there was one missing piece of the puzzle, a piece that needed to precede that. And as we worked with students, Lisa began to put these pieces of the puzzle together and to formulate something that would help students, again, acquire these skills of discrimination of sound, memory of sound, development of short-term memory, as well as developing their ability to resequence those things which they had heard. So it's kind of an in-house deal, but it's been something quite unexpected, certainly not a direction we anticipated heading, but has been a huge blessing to many, many people.
And how long has it been since you all first developed this program?
The development would have begun probably in about 2011 or 2012. It took about 3 years, and we went live with the program maybe in 2015, 2016.
Wonderful. Well, as I told you previously when we spoke, I've got my little guy who's turning 6 this fall, and we're sold. This is what I want to do to try to help prepare him because we've not started anything with him yet. And I want to make sure that we're checking boxes. And if there's something we can do to help prepare him, to help prevent anything that could come up later on, that we wanted to go all in. So I'm excited with what you all are offering. I really do appreciate your time in introducing us to your program. Is there anything else that families or teachers may need to know about Foundation in Sounds before I let you go?
It's a fantastic pre-reading program. So if you've got a little one and you're headed that direction, it's a wonderful place to start. We have many tutors and teachers all over the country using the program now, and many of them would only use the program if they saw specific struggles. But what we're seeing now is many of our tutors and teachers both are just saying, this is a good place to start regardless. And rather than moving into sound symbol relationship, let's just begin here, head off anything at the past that might be coming along, and make sure that we get a smooth start to reading.
And I love that. I also love that in West Virginia, with the introduction of Hope Scholarship, and now we're seeing this burst of micro schooling or learning pods, communities coming together with teachers who maybe didn't feel like they could, or even homeschooling moms who didn't feel like they had what they could provide a full community for their child just individually. So we see these little groups forming. This sounds like it could be something that a teacher could study and be able to implement in her classroom of students.
We're actually working on a classroom version of the program now. So initially the program has been intended for one-on-one or small group presentation. But we will be introducing a classroom version here in the not too distant future. Something else that people might be interested in is that you don't need a master's in reading in order to teach your students to read. Our program is designed specifically for teachers, for tutors, for parents, for grandparents, for anybody who's interested in helping somebody learn to read. Very easy to present, very easy to learn, and with a very, very high degree of success with the students.
Well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, you have a Facebook page. We're going to link to your website. That's foundationandsounds.com. We're going to make sure that our families know how to find out more information about your program. And I will definitely be on the lookout for that classroom program to become available, because I just see this really helping to stabilize the classroom setting and set students up for success. So I'm excited with the work that you guys are doing. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. For those of you who are watching, we'll put their website and all the links in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and do reach out so that you can make sure that you're setting your student up for success. If you have struggling readers and you're looking for more resources, do reach out, because my team at the West Virginia FUE, we are wanting to partner with parents and make sure that if there are concerns, you're connected to the right resources. So thanks so much for watching.